I want to talk to you about personal loans for a business startup. Okay, those are personal loans for a business this year. And here are the top loans I want you to really pay attention to. So, if you want to use a personal loan for business purposes, the very first provider I want you to really pay attention to is Livestream. I love Livestream. The reason is that Livestream will give you a maximum of $100,000, which is actually the kind of money you need if you want to if you want to start your business real fast, right? So $100,000. And by the way, Livestream is actually a subsidiary of Truist Bank. So Truist Bank is one of the largest banks in the nation. So that's really good because it gives you assurance that you are getting funding from an established institution. So Livestream is best for large loans. If you're looking for a personal loan for a business startup, think about Livestream. On top of that, the good thing is that you're getting $100,000 and you have to repay this loan over a maximum of 84 months. So the repayment window ranges from 24 months all the way to 84 months. So that's pretty good. You're looking at 2 years all the way to 7 years. Okay, and the APR is actually pretty decent. Also, you are looking at 6% all the way to 26%. This is kind of cool. And so the actual range of the actual loan range goes from 5,000 all the way to $100,000. And with Livestream, you really need a minimum credit score of 550 all the way to 600, 600, 550 to 6. So the higher your credit score, the better with Livestream, by the way. And so basically, there is no origination fee. So that's kind of cool. Okay. And so there are no fees whatsoever. And Livestream may be the competitor's offer if you get a lower rate elsewhere. You just got to let them know, okay, what offer you have. So overall, actually, there is no live chat through Livestream. So you got to call them. And they cannot check rates without dinging your credit. So they don't have a soft pull process. So in other words, you cannot pre-qualify. You cannot pre-qualify for a Livestream loan. On top of that, basically, it can be hard to qualify for, especially if you don't have a stable employment history. Another personal loan for a business startup this year is Rocket Loans. Rocket Loans is not giving you $100,000, but they're giving you some decent money to actually start a business or even run your business, either as a sole proprietorship or as an LLC or even a corporation. Okay, so Rocket Loans is great for fair credit. If you are a fair credit borrower, you will love Rocket Loans. So they're giving you 2,000 all the way to $45,000. So this is pretty good in my view. And the APR ranges from 8% all the way to 30% with autopay. So if you go with Rocket Loans, I really I suggest you go with autopay. You can save a few percentage points on your APR, and you also have the loan terms can be 36 months or 60 months. So 3 years or 5 years. Okay, so something to really think about in terms of minimum credit score. You're looking at 600. The only thing I don't like with Rocket Loans is that they're charging you up to 9% origination fee. So this can be costly for certain borrowers. So, but at least you know about it, okay? So Rocket Loans is pretty interesting overall because it has competitive rates for fair credit. You have a quick online application and fast funding, and you also have lower annual income requirements. The only thing is that on the flip side, with the Rocket Loans, you don't have some of the lowest rates. Okay, especially if you have excellent credit. You only have two loan repayment terms to choose from: 36 months or 60 months. And the mobile app applies to Rocket's mortgages only, not personal loans. Okay, because Rocket Loans has a pretty solid mortgage business on the side as well. Okay, so something to really think about. And the annual income required for Rocket Loans is $24,000. So $24,000, that's gross. So that's $2,000 gross on a monthly basis. And you cannot live in West Virginia, Nevada, or Idaho. They're not in those three states. Otherwise, they are in the rest of the country, and not a problem. If you're looking for a personal loan for a business startup this year, I want you to really think about Discover. I mean, Discover is a pretty established name in terms of credit cards, but they also provide personal loans big time, okay? And they give you a maximum of $40,000. So, unlike record loans, with Discover, you can pre qualify for your personal loan. So if you, and you can use a Discover personal loan for business purposes again because they're giving you 2,500 all the way to 40 grand. Even if you mention on the application that you're using the funds for business purposes, Discover is still gonna go into approve you. Some lenders will not approve you, but Discover actually will approve you. Okay, the APR range with Discover, the APR ranges from 8% all the way to 25%. Loan terms 36 months all the way to 84 months, so 3 years to 7 years. So you have 2,500 all the way to 40 grand. The minimum credit score we discover is a little high. They're looking at 650 all the way to 720 minimum. There is no origination fee, so I love that. Discover is not going to charge you anything at all, okay? So on the plus side, if you think about Discover, you have repayment assistance programs available in case of financial hardship. Discover is actually rated pretty high, okay? For instance, they're rated 4.9 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, on Triple B, on many review websites. And the maximum APR caps at 24.99%. This is really cool. On the flip side, with Discover, you need to have good credit and a moderate income. You can only borrow up to a 40 grand, which might not provide the business funding you need in some cases. And Discover does charge actually $39 for late payments. I mean, you do not want to be late with any lender anyway, okay? So this is kind of cool. And so you got to be at least 18 years of age. You need to have a valid social security number. You got to make at least 40 grand per year. And also, you need to have a valid address and working email address. And you got to be able to complete the application online. So with Discover, they don't have a brick and mortar branch that you can go to. Even though Discover actually does have some physical locations, they do not allow borrowers to go to those locations to apply for a loan. So if you want a loan through Discover, either to use for business or non-business purposes, you still need to do everything online. If you're looking for personal loans for a business startup, I want you to think about Best Egg this year. And Best Egg is pretty good, pretty solid in terms of lender. This is an online lender. This is a fintech, okay? And they will give you anywhere from $2,000 all the way to $50,000. $50,000 and 2 grand to 50 grand. And the repayment window goes from 3 years to 7 years. So 36 months all the way to 84 months. And the APR ranges from 8% to 36%. So this is a lot more expensive than Discover or even Rocket Loans or even Lightstream because Best Egg is charging you actually an origination fee, maximum 10%, on top of an APR that's already high. Okay, so but the thing is that the minimum credit score goes from 530 all the way to 580. So they will accept bad credit, but they will charge you for it. Like they'll charge you to sort of compensate for that extra risk they are taking. So what are the pros and cons here if you think about the Best Egg? The pros first, you have APR discounts of up to 20% for using your home's fixtures as collateral. They can change your payment due date twice during the life of your loan, and you may get your loan the next business day. What about the cons? Well, you may need to be a homeowner with equity to qualify. Best Egg's mobile app only applies to its credit cards, and Best Egg will put a lien on your home and can repossess your fixtures if you don't pay, right? So it's something to really be aware of. So to actually qualify for a Best Egg personal loan for a business startup, You got to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident living in the States. You got to be the age of majority in your state. You got to have a personal checking account, email address, and physical address. You also you should not live in the District of Columbia, Iowa, Vermont, West Virginia, or U.S. territories. They do not cover those geographies. Again, D.C., Iowa, Vermont, West Virginia, or U.S. territories. Another personal loan for a business startup to consider this year is Upgrade. So Upgrade, it gives you a similar loan amount. So you have $1,000 to $50,000. Same thing in terms of APR. You have 8% all the way to 36%. And Upgrade is charging you a maximum origination fee of 10%. The actual fee goes from 1.85% all the way to 9.99%. Okay, and the loan terms go from 24 months all the way to 84 months. So just be aware of that. Okay, and but overall, this lender is pretty solid. Okay, it's another fintech. They've been around for more than 20 years. So you can borrow as little as $1,000, which I doubt will be sufficient to run your business or even start your business. You can apply with another person to boost the approval odds. And this lender offers secured and unsecured loans. Okay, so this is kind of cool. On the flip side, you do have a mandatory origination fee. Online chat is only available after you have gotten your loan, and it's not really available during the application process. And you cannot take advantage of all discounts unless you are taking out a debt consolidation loan. Okay, so this is something to really think about. So one thing I want to say here is that if you are a small business owner looking for a startup capital, you might want to consider Upgrade. Upgrade actually is a loan marketplace, okay? And you don't need perfect credit to actually qualify. So qualification means that you got to be the age of majority in your state. You got to be a resident in this country or have a valid visa, okay? And you need to have a valid email address and verifiable bank account information. And also, your credit score minimum 530 all the way to 580. That's the minimum. If you're looking for a personal loan for a business startup this year, I want you to really consider Upstart. So Upstart is pretty similar to Upgrade, but the main difference is that with Upstart, the APR range is let's say a bit lower, because the APR range goes from 6% all the way to 36%. For Upgrade, it went from 8% to 36%. So loan terms, you have 36 or 60 months. Loan amounts the same thing, $1,000 to $50,000. But one big difference that I love to highlight is that Upstart will accept the lowest of the lowest when it comes to credit scores. So you're looking at 300, okay? But they're charging you a higher origination fee, maximum 12%. 12%. This is important. So if you think about Upstart, you have one of the lowest credit score requirements around. They don't always need credit to qualify with them, and they can compare multiple offers at once. Actually, not you, but not they, but you. In other words, they can actually send you multiple offers at once, and it's up to you to compare and contrast which one is better for you. On the flip side, you have a potential for a high origination fee. Think about it, maximum 12%. They only offer two different loan terms, let's say 36 months or 60 months. And the mobile app is only available to Apple users. So something to really consider. So how do you qualify? You got to be at least 18 years old. You got to have a verifiable name, date of birth, and social security number. You got to make at least $12,000 a year. That's gross income. You got to have a stable job, a job offer starting within 6 months, or another source of income. You got to have a valid working email address and bank accounts. And in terms of other history, there shouldn't be any bankruptcies in the last year, fewer than six inquiries on your credit report in the last 6 months, and no delinquent accounts. So that's something to really think about. So overall credit score, they consider 300 minimum, 300 minimum. So those are the top six personal loans for a business startup for you to consider this year. Okay. So when you think about having, let me give you a quick overview about the whole conversation. Let's first define for you what a personal loan for a business really means. So a personal loan for a business is simply a personal loan that's used to fund business expenses. So personal loans come as a lump sum of cash, which you will pay back in equal monthly installments. So personal loans tend to be easier to qualify for than traditional small business loans. So your ability to get a personal loan only depends on your own credit factors, like your FICO score and your debt to income ratio. And your DTI, debt to income ratio, measures how much debt you have compared to how much money you make. So when you apply for a business loan, the lender will also review your business's financial health as well as yours. It will consider things like how long you have been in business, your revenue, and your business credit score. Still, getting a personal loan for a business has downsides though. One of the biggest is liability. If you don't pay back your personal loan, your credit score will tank. With a traditional business loan, liability may only fall on the business itself, shielding your personal credit score. Okay, so this is something to really think about. In terms of personal loans versus business loans, I'm going to put this on the screen so you can see it. So what is it? Okay, common eligibility requirements and also the key takeaways for you to really have a quick compare and contrast. Again, I'm going to leave this on the screen for a few seconds for you to really see. One of the main highlights is that basically for a personal loan for a business, you may need to have a DTI ratio below 36%. DTI, debt to income ratio, okay? And this is pretty huge and not always accessible or attainable for all borrowers. So if you want to compare personal loans for a business, you want to think about the APR, how much they're charging you, okay, including interest and fees. The higher this percentage, the more expensive the loan. Think about it. You also have fees. So fees are going to be quite essential. So the most common personal loan fees you see are origination fees, late payment fees, and return payment fees. You also have the loan term, so how long you will need to repay the loan. You have also the funding time. This tells you how long it will take to receive your funds. Some lenders can offer quick loans with same-day funding, while others actually may require a few business days. And finally, you have lender perks. So some lenders may offer also perks such as free credit monitoring, live chat, or zero fee loans. Outside of rates, think about what's important to you and seek out lenders who can really accommodate. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about personal loans for a business startup. I gave you the top loans, and after that, I spoke about the overview. So the top loans include Livestream, Rocket Loans, Discover, Best Ag, Upgrade, and Upstarts. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.